Hello and welcome to this money, wealth and abundance pick a card reading. We've got 4 piles of cards here for you to choose from. So take a moment, gaze at the cards, see which pile you feel drawn to the most, then check out the timestamp. So pile 1 here, we have Maneki Neko, who is also overseeing this reading for us, the lucky cat. Pile 2, we have this lovely piece of Goldstone, which is absolutely gorgeous. Pile 3, we have a little crystal gift, that is real crystal. And pile 4, we have a piece of pyrite, also known as fool's gold, but there's nothing foolish about this crystal at all. Actually very useful for money magic and working with abundance energy. So see which pile you feel drawn to, and then we'll dive on in and take a look to see what's going on for you when it comes to money and how you can actually improve your situation with money and abundance. Hello pile 1, you've chosen the pile of cards with the little Maneki Neko here. I'm going to pop him over here to oversee the reading for us, and let's take a look at your cards. Let's have a look at the energies influencing you when it comes to money and abundance. We're going to start out by looking at some emotional and spiritual issues that may be influencing your abundance, your money, your wealth, all matters to do with money and abundance at this time. So we've got 33, respect your boundaries, with this beautiful dragon. We've got number 7, do not fear the unknown. And we've got 48, wash away your burdens. I see. Okay, so it feels like there could be some family or ancestral issues here actually affecting you when it comes to abundance. I am spoken to right now by my guides of you perhaps not knowing how to do things differently from your family. Maybe you had some very strong programming as a child. I mean, we all are taught from our family of origin, from our society, how things are supposed to be, and it can be very difficult to override that programming in later life. But it does feel also as though what you earn perhaps you can't keep, or what you try to accumulate for yourself or to manifest for yourself, maybe you just can't hold on to it because other people take things away from you, because there's definitely a boundaries issue coming up here. And it seems to me that you're a very gentle, very kind and loving person, and that can be a real issue because this comes through on 33-6, which is the Christ consciousness and also the heart. So you might be a spiritual person as well, and it might be, or you may be religious, maybe you give a lot of money to charity, maybe you give a lot of money to help other people, maybe you give a lot of time to help other people, so you don't have the time and energy to spend on your own abundance, on looking after yourself. So it does feel that there may be an issue there to start with for some of you. Remember, this is a group reading, so take what makes sense and leave what doesn't. And I want to come away over to here now for a moment with wash away your burdens. Now 48, this is completion of karmic contract, so it does feel very much like you're moving away from an old way of doing things. And this is what I was saying with perhaps your family of origin, how things were done there, perhaps moving into a new way of doing things. Or there may be a desire to do things differently, to not get stuck in the old patterns that maybe you watched your mother, grandmother, father, grandfather stuck in, or other family members. Perhaps you've watched them struggle and you don't want to make the same mistakes, so you've been working perhaps on many different levels to actually step away from the energy of your family's karma, perhaps to actually clear that ancestral karma down your family line within yourself. So it does feel like moving into higher levels of abundance might be a little bit uncomfortable for you, pile 1, because we have do not fear the unknown. And again, it comes in on number 7, which is the mystic. So again, I want to say you're quite a spiritual person here. I want to say you're quite spiritually minded, quite open-minded, sensitive, empathic, most likely very psychic. And it can be very difficult for people who are that way to actually make money, make lots of abundance for themselves, because there can be a lot of guilt associated with that. Many empaths come from abusive households, abusive backgrounds, and there can be a lack of self-worth, a real lack of self-worth, which can cause us very much to prioritise other people's well-being over our own, which can make it so very difficult to actually manifest abundance in our own lives, because everything that we have, we're giving to everybody else, we're giving to other people and thinking that that's the right thing to do. But it might not be the right thing for you to do quite so much, quite so frequently, or all the time. Maybe take a break from that now. Maybe it's time to think about that. You may also have religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs that have been holding you back from greater levels of abundance. Perhaps contradictory ones about, you know, how you shouldn't have wealth, how you shouldn't have money, how money is evil, money's bad. There could be some old thought patterns there to look at, to work on, because money isn't bad. It's literally just abundance in physical form, or in electronic form if it's, you know, these days money more often than not isn't in physical form, is it? But it's just a representation of energy. That's all it is. The energy of abundance shows up in the form of money, or it can show up in the form of money. That's certainly not the only way it can show up in your life. It can show up in many, many ways. But a lot of us reject that because we've been taught that it's somehow bad or naughty. And again, I want to go back to past generations here, because the reason that the common man thinks that is because the ruling class made us think that, okay? There were some nasty tricks played on humanity over centuries to make people believe that poverty is holy, that we shouldn't have lots of money, we shouldn't have anything for ourselves, we shouldn't want anything for ourselves, and it's far more holy to have nothing. But the people telling us those things, and I actually had to pause the video there to cough because my throat chakra reacted quite strongly to this statement, so I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Really, really listen to this. Those people in charge, the people telling us that poverty was holy and, you know, that we shouldn't aim to have lots of money or have lots of things or any sort of abundance for ourselves, and that we should wait until we reach the other side, till we left this lifetime, they were the ones who had everything. They were the ones who had all of the money, all of the power, all of the resources, sometimes all of the food, you know. So I think we need to take with a very big pinch of salt all of those things that our ancestors were told now. And I think as time goes on, as we move more into the energy of the age of Aquarius, these things are becoming a lot more obvious to us. On an individual level, in the spiritual community, but also in the wider world, it's much more obvious that just because you're poor doesn't mean you're spiritual, and just because you have lots of money doesn't mean that you're a terrible person and completely unspiritual. I mean, it's so ridiculous, but that's the sort of the very bad joke that was played on mankind some time ago. And it does feel like you may have had something of an uphill battle to actually work against that kind of energy, or those old thought patterns, or other people who believed those things, who were actually holding you back and keeping you small, encouraging you to play small, knocking you down, knocking your confidence. So I do feel as well that there may be an issue to do with the solar plexus chakra. That's the yellow chakra that sits on the physical solar plexus here. I'm very drawn to working on the solar plexus chakra for you. I feel that would be very helpful to help you increase levels of abundance. I'm also very drawn to citrine crystal for you. Here's a lovely chunk here. I always think this looks like orange ice lolly, this piece. When you get these raw pieces. I'm very, very drawn to this crystal. Look at it for a moment, gaze at it, see if this stone actually resonates with you, see if you're drawn to this. And you can easily acquire this. It's a very cheap crystal to get hold of. I'm sure you can get a piece for a pound or $1 wherever you live. It's really not expensive to get hold of, but I feel that will help, because very often when we're lacking in self-esteem, self-worth, it can originate from that chakra being out of balance, and that can be from being told that we weren't good enough, or that we were bad, naughty and undeserving when we were children, or even in past lives. There are things that we brought through, particularly those of us who are very mystical, are very spiritual. We carried a lot of karma. We may have brought some things through, old promises of poverty from previous lifetimes where we may have been monks or nuns. You know, we may have renounced property, we may have decided we didn't want to do that anymore, but the problem is we can bring that energy into our current lifetime, and unless we let go of those old promises, those old contracts, they can actually get in the way and form resistance, so that we cannot manifest the abundance that we actually want. If you'd like to learn more about resistance, you can actually get a copy of my book, which I will link to in the description below, which is Dream Bigger: How the Law of Attraction Really Works. You can find that one on Amazon. So let's take a look at your next cards. We have number 5, Spirit, the Sacred Temple. Yeah. And number 1, Optimism. Wow, that's beautiful. You are a spiritual person, aren't you? That's really beautiful. I do feel that there probably were some very religious or very spiritual lifetimes in your karma, in your past. You've done a lot on that level. And I feel like in this lifetime, one of your lessons, which may be quite difficult for some of you, Pile 1, is actually learning how to be abundant financially. You may have learned how to be abundant spiritually and when it comes to peace or tranquility or prayer, meditation, but you may have really struggled with money. And I feel like that is something that's very much a part of your path, your spiritual path in this lifetime. And it's absolutely okay to be working on that. And I want you to be optimistic. Look at this beautiful, beautiful card, optimism. You can reap what you've sown. You are allowed to eat the beautiful fruits in the garden. You don't have to just look at it. You can have them too. It's not just for other people. And it's interesting that this is a yellow coloured card, and she's also wearing a lovely yellow dress. So again, that's the colour of the solar plexus chakra. So to me, that's confirmation again that this chakra needs a little bit of work for you to feel more optimistic, feel more capable of actually achieving what you want when it comes to money and wealth. And no, I know that money certainly isn't everything, Pile 1. I hear you saying that. And no, of course it's not. But it makes life so much easier, so much happier. Potentially, you have the potential to make things so much easier for you, to let go of struggle, to let go of difficulties, to make things simpler, gentler, so that you don't have to go to work. It feels to me, you feel like the kind of person that doesn't really fit in the 9 to 5, okay? I certainly don't fit in the 9 to 5 world. I've been there, done that, hated it. Energetically, it's just not a match to me anymore. You may be somebody who is more suited to the gig economy, to being self-employed, to running a business, or having streams of passive income, which you absolutely can do. And it feels like there is a really big opportunity right now for you to actually redesign your life, for you to actually design the temple, the sacred temple of your life. I do also want to talk about the body temple here and make sure that you are taking care of your physical body, because that's very, very much a big part of your path, as well as taking care of yourself physically. You may be somebody that's very good at going without, but I don't recommend it at the moment. Make sure you're getting everything that you need. Make sure you're getting all the food, nutrition, medical attention, going to the dentist, whatever it is that you need to be doing. Make sure that you're doing it. Really take care of yourself, because when you're not taking care of yourself, again, you're giving the universe the message that you don't matter, that you're not worthy, and then abundance can't possibly flow to you, because that is causing resistance. That's literally getting in the way of that good, wonderful, abundant energy actually reaching you. So let's move on to some more cards. Joy and stability. Believe and succeed. Here we go. Yes, they're being a bit cheeky now, reiterating what I've just been saying. Okay, I love it when they do that. Again, very spiritual cards. These are both ones with the purple border. So this is the spiritual suit from this particular non-traditional tarot deck. And this one is actually a deck that is for romance and love. And you might think that's strange to bring this deck in, but it felt appropriate because for many of us, if not all, our love life and our emotions are so connected to how much money we have and our abundance as well. We say silly things in society, don't we? Like lucky in love, unlucky in money. And that's really not the case, and it doesn't have to be. And I just want to say to you, you can have money and you can be okay in your relationships. You can be happy in your romantic relationships and have money too. Because I can see that stability, emotional stability, is extremely important to you. And that's wonderful, and that's absolutely okay. But also, I want to say believe in yourself, because it feels like it is time for you to get a little bit out of your comfort zone when it comes to money and abundance. I feel like you need to push yourself in a direction that you might not feel totally comfortable with. And again, this comes in on a 6, and we started out with a 33-6. Okay, so 33. 3 plus 3 equals 6, which is why I call it 33-6, which is how I would say the number, because I'm a numerologist. So 33-6, yes, you need to believe in your heart that you genuinely can do something, and then you can do it. And I think once you have belief in something or in yourself, absolutely nothing can stop you. You are one of these incredible people who can achieve such things, but you have to truly believe in it to be able to do it. You're not somebody that can just do a job for the sake of doing a job. You need to believe in the company's message, in their ethics, in what they do, for it to really be fulfilling, for you to really succeed. I think in any project, you really have to have your heart in it. Just having your head in it really isn't enough for you. You need all of the aspects of self to really be aligned here. You need your solar plexus chakra to be shining like a star. And also I want to talk about the sacral chakra, which is the orange one just below the navel and just below the solar plexus chakra, because that's what I'm drawn to talk about with these two lights here. The yellow and the orange lights are just reminding me of the solar plexus and the sacral chakra here. So it feels like those chakras need to be really well aligned with each other. You need to be satisfying the energy that both of them require. I also want to say that some of you watching this right now are mediums. I'm getting quite a strong connection to death and to the spirit world here for you, and I feel you could be quite a transformational person as well. Perhaps somebody who we may have some soul midwives watching this one, I feel, or some mediums watching this one. Remember, it's a group reading, so lots of people will be watching this, hopefully. Yes, so I feel that you're very, very connected to the other side, regardless. I feel you're very connected to the spirit world. You may be able to communicate with them. And because of that, again, that might be something that you're thinking, no, I want to prioritise my spiritual work, but I really would like more money because, my shoes have holes in and I could really use, going to the dentist. So you really must take care of yourself. And remember that accepting abundance, accepting money is self-care. It is a form of self-care. Okay, you must take care of yourself, please, pile one. So we're going to have a look at some money cards here. This is a new little money and abundance deck that I've created today, which we are using for the first time. You're very honoured. Let's take a look. Okay, so what have my guides got to say here? User abuser 33. So there's that number coming out again. So our first card here was 33-6. We've got another one, another 33. Again, very spiritual number. This is the Christ consciousness. Okay, are people taking advantage of you is what I want to say. Are you taking advantage of other people? For some of you that may be correct. Are you being manipulative? And is that why you don't have the money that you want? But I feel it's more likely that other people are taking advantage of you, to be honest, from this reading. That's the energy I get. Golden opportunity, yes. Yes, literally, I feel like you have a golden opportunity now. If it hasn't already shown up in your life, I feel like it's about to in the next month, because I've literally got number 1 in my mind as I'm going there. So this is imminent. This is energy that's right now. And it may be something that you're very uncomfortable doing because it comes in on the energy of number 15, so 15-6, which in tarot is the devil, okay? And when we're in the energy of the devil, we can feel stuck, like we're disempowered, like we can't do anything, like we're a slave to something else. And that's just simply not the case. And again, it reduces to 6. We're getting an awful lot of 6s coming through in this reading. 6 is the number of the heart, the sacred chalice. So I feel for you, it's time that you open your heart to abundance. Open your heart to money, okay? Some of you may really have a dislike, a distaste for money, much as you want it, much as you want to be able to spend it some of the time. I feel like some of you really don't like it, or your relationship with money really isn't very good. Your relationship with money in abundance is really struggling. And it is time to really beckon it in, which is why you've picked the little Maneki Neko. He is the beckoning cat, he or she. I'm not sure if he was a girl originally. He's always shown as a calico cat, or a tortoiseshell, as we'd say here in England. And they're usually female. It's very rare for them to be male. So I don't know, I feel like this is a little girl. But the cat beckons, and what the cat does, normally you see their little arm waving, like this one, which I have on my desk. He's solar powered and his little arm waves like this. And his job is to beckon customers, or beckon money, beckon good fortune into your life. And you see a lot of businesses have those. I have 3 sitting around with their little arms waving because I think they're absolutely gorgeous, and it's sort of a money spell, if you like, the world's most popular money spell perhaps. But it does feel very much like it's time for you to invite money into your life. Invite it in. Roll out the red carpet. Okay, I feel like the colour red could be quite helpful for you when it comes to money. It is obviously the colour of the root chakra, the base chakra. But also, it is about survival. It is about money. It's a very strong money colour, number red. Number red? Number red. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to have to do the numerology of red just quickly. So, right, so R is 9, E is 5, and D is 4. So that's 9, 9, 18. Okay, 18, 9. All right, so 18, 9 numerology we have. 18 is looking at the shadow. So there's definitely some shadow to look at here. And I think the colour red can actually help you to heal some of those aspects of shadow. Red coloured crystals as well can help to give you a little bit more courage and confidence in yourself, I feel too. Or just red colours red coloured clothing perhaps could be useful there. So just bear that one in mind. Let's just take one more. Give to receive, not to get. Okay, wonderful. Now this is a reminder, give to receive, not to get. I don't know if you've met people like this, but I certainly have. There are certain people that you meet in the spiritual community who think that they can sort of get one over on the universe. And I think this is how the dark powers who run the world work as well. They think they can find a loophole in the universal law. So they give literally to get. You give to get, oh, look, I'm going to help this person and then they'll owe me and they have to give me stuff back, or the universe has to return it to me and I'll get all of this good stuff. You know, I've literally met people like that. Not very nice people, very narcissistic people. They're horrible. And they make themselves out to be so wonderful and altruistic, where they're actually giving to get. Right? They don't care about the person they're helping. They care about the fact that the universe is going to reward them for that. So they're all about the reward. They're all about what they're going to get. It's a horrible energy. And that is not how you have to do it. Okay, absolutely not. But yes, at the same time, the universe keeps a perfect set of books. So what you do give will come back to you. But remember, it will come back tinged with the energy that you sent it out with. So if you sent it out with love, yes, of course it will come back to you. So give to receive. And I know that you give a lot already. I know that. But I want you to bear in mind, when you give, yes, you will receive back. Okay, that's wonderful. And you might be sitting there right now thinking, yeah, but Helen, I'm not receiving anything. What are you talking about? And I just want to say, you may be blocking that. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself the question, last time somebody offered to do something for you, did you say yes or no? Last time somebody offered to give you something, did you say yes or no? Last time somebody offered to help you with something, did you say yes or no? And think very carefully about this. And this doesn't necessarily apply to the people that you helped. It could be anyone. Any random person that you met, or an acquaintance, a kind person that you met at some sort of event, at a party, who said, oh, I can help you with that. And you went, oh, no, don't be silly. Oh, no, you don't have to do that. You're blocking yourself from receiving if that's the case, pile one. Okay, I just want to draw your attention to that. When we give, yes, the energy, whatever we've given, will always be returned to us, but we don't have to receive it because we don't have to accept it when it shows up. Okay, and that can be a bit of a surprise to some people, and they think, well, I do all of this giving, why am I not receiving? This is strange, I'm hardly getting crumbs in return. Oh, maybe it's on a spiritual level that I'm receiving, you know, maybe it's kind of going into my spiritual bank account. And that may be the case. But there's no reason that you shouldn't receive other gifts. You shouldn't receive money. You shouldn't receive love, help, support, kindness, compassion when you need it. All right, that is how the universe works. When you give to someone, when you do something good for somebody else, when you put that loving, compassionate energy out there to assist somebody else, that will always come back to you. But it will not necessarily come back from the person that you helped, because they might not be able to return it to you. So the universe will find somebody else who can, and who wants to, and who will enjoy giving to you, who will enjoy that. It's actually very, very selfish not to receive, not to let other people give to you. Because how do you feel when you give to other people? It feels wonderful, doesn't it? You know, when you're giving something out of the goodness of your heart, makes you feel really great. Yay, I feel so great. I gave this person this, I helped this person with that, I feel really good about myself now. Well, you're denying them that pleasure by not letting them help you, by making them watch you struggle. Okay, so just going to put that out there for those of you that applies to. That feels like a very, very important theme right now. So we're just going to take some manifesting cards now. We've got... let's take a look at this one from Esther Hicks. So, every reality has been focused by someone into being. Now that is interesting. So, who's creating your reality? Is it you, or are you going along with the wishes of somebody else right now? So, that can be a bit of a wake-up call. And that's a wake-up call for humanity right now. You know, you're far from alone. You're in very good company if that's the case in your life. And this is the trick that the what I call the dark powers, the people who run the world, God knows a lot of them are psychopaths, sociopaths, terrible people. Very selfish, very narcissistic. And they fool the rest of the population into manifesting the world that they want, into creating the world that they want, into focusing the energy, the vibration into what they want it to be. And then we end up living in this world we don't like, thinking, how on earth did we get here? How did we get here? I didn't want this. Well, did you focus on manifesting the world you did want? No, you never thought about it. And most likely because no one ever told you to. Okay, and this is the point. So we're just going to have a look at the message on here. You were taught to face reality before you knew you were creating reality. Do not face reality unless it is a reality you want to create. For any reality only exists because someone has focused it into being. Those statistics about your experiences and others are not about any hard and fast now reality. So what it's saying is the past is in the past. How things were in the past does not have to be how they are in the future, how you manifest them into your now, into your present. You are in control here. You're very much in charge. And I know that you're somebody who is very spiritual, very spiritually minded, and very spiritually powerful as well, which means that you're actually a really good manifester, whether you realise it or not. I think you're a very, very powerful manifester. I think you have huge capabilities to manifest. It's just never occurred to you, perhaps, to do it in certain ways, to look at the wider world, to look at your own life and to realise that, yes, it is important for you to be manifesting good things into your life. It's very important, because if you're not doing that, how can other people learn from your example if you decide to live, going without or in poverty or struggling or in difficulty? What lesson, what energy are you putting out to the rest of the world? Well, you're probably helping to manifest somebody else's reality that they want. Okay, so pay attention to that. It is very important and very responsible to consciously manifest your own reality. It's very spiritually responsible to do that. And that's why we must do that moving forwards. Of course, you don't have to, it's your life. I was at the caveat. That's just my opinion. That's just what I'm seeing here, what my guides are telling me. It's up to you what you choose to do with it. We all have free will. Okay, I'm just going to bring in a cosmic ordering card now. Suffering is not necessary. Okay, just going to let you sit with that for a moment. Suffering is not necessary for human development. Okay, and that's a mistake that many spiritual and religious people make. Very, very big mistake. It's terrible. It's really in the zeitgeist of our societies that we have to suffer, that we have to have things badly for some reason, because then maybe they'll be better on the other side. Or, it's such a horrible, terrible belief. It is the result of a wounding of the spiritual laws. It seems there are only a few people, however, who are able to wake themselves from their sleep of the soul without any suffering. That is an interesting message, and I really want you to take this on board, that suffering is not necessary. Suffering does not have to be part of your life. It absolutely can be a part of your life. All right, but it doesn't have to be, not all the time, not to the extent we have it right now. In theory, it doesn't have to be at all. But humanity hasn't quite reached the level where we know how to do that. Most of us just don't know how to live without suffering. We haven't got to that stage. I hope that we will soon. I hope that individuals will start to get there soon. Whole people who've done their shadow work, who have woken up from this collective dream that we're all a part of right now, where we think we have to be small, play small, bow and scrape. Oh, there's the king, he's better than me, he gets to wear a golden hat. Bollocks, rubbish, nonsense. No one is better than you. No one is more worthy, more deserving than you. And I want you to remember that. If you take nothing else away from this reading, I want you to take away how worthy, how important you very much are, because that is what's going to be so transformational for your life. So thank you for watching this video. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel, leave me a like. Please do comment if there's something you would like to add to the conversation. I love to read your comments. I will read every single one, I promise, and I will respond to them as well. And I will see you very soon. You take very, very good care of yourself. You are a special, beautiful, loving soul, and you are loved. Hello, pile 2. You've chosen the pile of cards with the gorgeous Goldstone here, which I shall pop over here while we do our reading. And let's take a look at the spiritual factors and emotional factors at first, which are affecting your abundance, your wealth, and the amount of money in your life. Let's take a look at these cards. So, first of all, we have 18, Honor Gaia, 4, Be Without Malice, and number 17, Heed Your Dreams. Oh, that's interesting. There's definitely a connection with nature and nature magic coming through very strongly here. And isn't it interesting how this looks like an old crone with a beautiful staff here? It feels like many of you watching this one could be quite magical. You may be practicing witchcraft, practicing witches, or practicing druids, working with the older energies, the older pagan energies, the connection actually to the earth here. So it might literally be that money just doesn't seem that important to you. Abundance just doesn't seem that important. It feels like nature is your abundance. It feels very strongly that the seasons are your magic. It's a very beautiful and very mystical energy that comes through for you here. And that is absolutely gorgeous. And it actually gives you a very, very strong ability to manifest abundance as well. I feel like that's not a problem for you. Or it shouldn't be a problem for you, is what I want to say. We've got this beautiful dragon snaked around here, this lovely snake here. You're very connected to healing energies, very connected to higher, powerful energies. Wow. But it feels like there may be some anger here when it comes to the human level. So in your spiritual work, you may feel wonderful, but I want to go back to kind of the more day-to-day mundane level. It feels like there is anger, or perhaps a feeling of being defensive when it comes to money. Maybe you've had to protect yourself. Maybe you have an ex-spouse who's tried to take your money, people who've tried to steal from you. There's a real defensive energy that comes through, a real anger that comes through. Perhaps you never had enough growing up. Perhaps you lived in poverty, or with parents who had addictions, who just never had enough money, or who spent the things they should have spent on you. So there is a real feeling of just needing to take care of yourself on the most basic level. But it feels very much like like you're not quite able to accept the manifestation of abundance into your life in the form of money. That feels like a real blockage for you, like it's really difficult because you're so busy trying to hang on to what you have. And people who have this tendency can be quite tight with money. Okay, and that's not good for abundance if you're mean, if you're tight with money. I understand why people are. It makes perfect sense to me. I'm not. I'm terrible. I'm a spender. But people like this can be savers. Save, scrimp and scrape, but never seem to have enough and never understand why, because you do nothing but save. You know, that's definitely going to be the case for some of you. Not for everybody. Remember, this is a group reading. Okay, take from it what makes sense, what resonates for you, leave what doesn't. But I also want to go back to the crystal as well that was on your pile of cards here. This is Goldstone. And it looks a bit like my nail varnish as well. Now, Goldstone is, I love it. It's a very sunny crystal. It's very warm. It's wonderful to work with. But did you know it's actually man-made? Right, this is not naturally occurring. I had a bit of a shock when I found that out. I was like, no, it's a man-made crystal. I can't possibly work with that, but I love it. I love the energy of it. It comes in different colours as well. It's a very warm, sunny energy. So I want to say you can make your own money, all right? You don't have to wait for it to show up or to be given to you. You're very capable of making your own money. You're a very hard worker. But I feel there are some old defensive wounds, I want to say, in your psyche, some old wounds that make you very defensive when it comes to money, abundance and wealth. And I feel that could be really causing a huge blockage for you right now. Let's bring in some more cards and we'll have another look at that. So it does feel like with the 18-9 there is some shadow work to do here. And 17-8, again, your dreams may literally be trying to tell you what it is. You know, if you've been asking for money, praying for money, asking your angels, asking your guides, doing money spell work at all, yeah, the answers may actually be coming through to your subconscious. You're just not quite sure where to go with them, or it may feel uncomfortable to try and implement them. So, status quo and transformation. Okay, so it does look like things aren't going to stay how they are, and that's really positive. That's really good. So the status quo is the status quo until it's not. And I know that sounds obvious, but I had to pause the video because I knocked a pack of my cards to the side here, my little abundance oracle, my money and abundance oracle that I just created with the help of my guides. And this card came off the top, it sort of spun off all by itself, Aquarian Age Abundance. I feel like you are one of these people who is here to change the status quo right now. You are somebody, maybe a light worker, an integration worker, as I prefer to call us, because it is about integrating dark and, you know, the light and the dark, the shadow as well. We can't just be light. That's extremely toxic to just be one to the extreme. We must bring the balance back. And these are cycle cards as well. So this is about a cycle. It could be a cycle in your life that is changing, but it is certainly the wider cycle, the cycling of the procession as we move into this new era, into this age of Aquarius, which brings with it its own energy, its own rules. You know, all bets are off when we go into Aquarius. We've been living under the age of Pisces for a long, long time, for centuries, and we don't know anything else. We don't know any other energy. So as we move into the new era, the things that used to work in the past will cease to work in the present and in the future. They just won't work anymore. They won't work for people. People will reject them. They won't feel comfortable doing the old things the old way, having a job for life, doing the 9 to 5. It just won't feel right anymore. Bowing and scraping to lords and masters won't feel right anymore in the energy of Aquarius. Aquarius will go, fuck off. I'm not I'm not any lesser than you. Who the hell do you think you are with your gold hat on over there? So it is a very, very different energy. It's a very rebellious energy that we're moving into. And I think it will actually suit you if you can let go of some of that fear. I think it's very much fear at a very basic level. Of course, it will be tied up in all sorts of other layers of stuff, but at the very, very root level, it feels to me that there is fear here. Fear of not having enough. Fear of, I guess it's a fear of death, ultimately. Fear of not being able to survive, fear of not being okay, fear of not having enough, fear of not being able to fill your belly with food, fear of not having a roof over your head. Regardless of how much money you actually have right now, you could be on a 6-7 figure salary but still have that driving you, making you feel so uncomfortable, like you never have enough. I feel for many of you, you just won't have enough, or you won't feel like you have enough right now. But it is coming through for you. It is very much there for you, because this is a very transformational time. I love the transformation card. Okay, this is end of cycle, beginning of a new cycle for you, pile 2. Okay, in some way, shape or form, on some level or other, small or grand, this is a new cycle which is beginning, and you're going to have these beautiful opportunities because you're already abundant. See, I said so. 54-9. You are already abundant. You are already so powerful, so capable, so able to do all of these things, on the spiritual level. When it comes to work, I'm sure you're very skilled. I feel like there are going to be some artists watching this one. I feel like some of you might be quite artistic, or musicians or something. Creators, you're creators and creatrixes. Would that be creatrixes or creatrices? I don't know. Okay. It doesn't matter. Let's not get caught up on that. Wisdom and wealth. Yes. It feels like you already have the wisdom, it's just the wealth that's lacking right now. And 12 is the number of perfect governance. 12-3 does bring in the opportunity for this new cycle to actually bring everything into balance, for you to be able to manage your money, manage your abundance, your finances a whole lot better, so that you genuinely do have more. And it could be about learning about money so that you can make better decisions when it comes to investments or to savings, not to make bad decisions when it comes to money, not to live on credit. That's something a lot of people do or have done in the past, and then they have to live with the repercussions of that, with the consequences of our actions. But you're already so abundant. You already have all of the tools, I feel, at your disposal to actually increase your own abundance, to bring so much more into your life. And I feel this is the cycle of your life when you're going to do it. This is where you're going to make the changes. This is very exciting. And there is some crossover as well with pile 1. So if you feel drawn to watch pile 1, I would encourage you to do so as well. Because there is a lot of crossover, and I think for some people it's going to be a blend of both of those readings. Let's bring in the emotional cards here. Shine. Take the lead. Yeah. Okay, I love this card, Shine. It is very much about shining your light. Again, there's some crossover with pile 1, because this is the light coming from the solar plexus chakra, and I talked about that quite extensively in the first reading. So if that resonates, go and watch it after you've finished this one, of course. But yes, it is time to shine your light. It is time to guide other people forwards now. I feel actually that you could be quite good at actually helping people to manifest abundance. You could be someone who can teach the law of attraction, who can teach abundance, who can teach maybe investing or something. Maybe you have a qualification in financial services. Maybe you would like to have one. But I feel like you would have to work it in your own way. I feel like, wouldn't necessarily fit in an office job doing that, maybe more on a freelance basis. Maybe you're into crypto. Cryptocurrency is very Aquarian energy, it's very new, novel and original. Of course, you have to be careful because there are risks, of course. But I feel if you can let go of this kind of defensive cloak that you've been wearing this whole time, and that doesn't mean to leave yourself defenseless, it just means let the walls down. Let the energy in. Let the freaking walls down. It's okay. Because right now I feel like your walls are keeping too much out, keeping things out that you would actually like, that you would benefit from having in your life. Yes, take the lead. And this is where I feel like... this is why I'm saying I feel like you could actually teach and help others. I feel like you will be coming up with your own ideas, your own systems of creating abundance, of generating wealth. Maybe you'll come across a really amazing way to do that. Maybe you will be the one to teach your family line how to make money without having to do it in the old-fashioned ways, maybe without having to do hard physical labor or something. Maybe you will have a new way of doing that. There are so many new ways popping up right now, being content creators. Maybe you'll be a digital nomad, because I have that kind of energy for you. You're kind of a nomadic energy. Maybe you like to travel. Maybe you'd like to go live in another country. You can definitely do that. You can absolutely do that. In fact, you'll be a shining light for others. So you would make a really good influencer. Okay, teacher, influencer. Yeah, I can totally see all of that for you. That is definitely something that you would be able to do if you choose to do so. So let's bring in some manifesting cards here. We've got this one. I now hold the key to creating my every desire. Yes, I believe you do. You've had it all along, and I think you've known that you've had it all along as well, which might be why it's so frustrating if you don't actually have the abundance, the wealth, the money that you want. You're thinking, I've got the key, why the heck can't I open the door? Okay, and that is the big question here. Why can't you open the door? Are you just choosing not to when the opportunities present themselves? Are you going, oh, no, I couldn't possibly do that. That's far too scary and big for me. Is that what's happening? So let's have a look at the writing on the card. It is not possible to consistently feel positive emotion about something and have it turn out badly. But if we feel negative emotion about something constantly, it absolutely will turn out badly. And this is why a lot of people, I would say most people in the world, do not have the levels of abundance and money that they would absolutely like, that they would love to have, because they think money is bad, money is the root of all evil, money is terrible, bad people have money, rich people are selfish. We have all of these terrible beliefs. You may not have those, or you may have some of them, whichever ones you have. I would encourage you right now just to do a quick exercise. After you watch this video, just grab a piece of paper or grab your phone and open up a notepad or something, and write down all your beliefs about money. Okay, all of your negative beliefs about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. I never have enough. Write them all down and see what it is that you actually believe. Just let your subconscious rip. Let it rip. Let it tell you all the things that you actually believe about money. Write them all down. And then take a look at that. Because that's where the resistance is. Those are the things, the beliefs that need to be changed so that you can actually make some big changes when it comes to finance. That's the resistance that you can get rid of, and that's a really good way to do it. So you can look at them, see what your beliefs are. I like to then actually cross a line through each one of them and then write a phrase next to it which contradicts it. Okay, so there is never enough money, for example. I might write, there is always plenty of money, I am always abundant, I always have enough, there is always enough to go round, or something like that. Just contradict it. And then what you can do, if you really want to, you can burn it afterwards if there's somewhere safe for you to burn it, or burn the negative beliefs. Any way you want to do it. I'm sure you have your own magical practice or your own spiritual practice. Many of you will know how to do that already, or you'll have some ideas bubbling up as I'm saying that. For the way you feel will tell you if you are allowing your natural well-being or not. Once you understand that the way you feel indicates your level of allowing or resisting, you now hold the key to creating anything you desire. Okay, so how we feel is going to change depending on what we're thinking about. All right, so how we're feeling in general, yes, of course, there is an influence with how we're feeling on a day-to-day basis, but how we feel about a specific topic, a specific thing, a specific subject, like money, for example, yeah, that's going to be influencing our relationship with money, absolutely, no doubt. Okay, that can be very challenging. Let's pop that here. So we're going to bring in a cosmic ordering card. Once a day, try and stop, go to a quiet place and ask yourself, what do I really want? Who am I? Who do I want to be? What makes me feel really good? What has deeply satisfied me today? Now that is interesting. So again, there's a little journaling exercise, and I'm prompted to say I think journaling to do with money and abundance could be really quite helpful for you, Pile, too. I think you are somebody, or at least for some of you, I think that is a tool that's going to be very, very helpful. It might be something you already like to do, or it might be something that you thought about doing or that's been suggested and you've never kind of really done it because, you know, oh no, it's that crazy woo-woo stuff. I'm not sure if I want to do that, you know. But that can be incredibly helpful. So I want to suggest, and if possible, physically write it down. Take a pencil, take a pen, physically write it out. All right, because the action of doing that actually helps to reprogram the brain. It's very, very powerful for the subconscious, much more powerful than typing or tapping on a phone. Okay, so try and get yourself a pad, a pencil, a pen, something, maybe a special book to do it in, and actually write it down. Okay, I think that will be very, very transformative for you moving forwards. All right, so I'm just going to ask if there's any other advice that my guides want to bring through here for you, any other insights that they want to bring through. Shares and sharing. Empty pockets. All right. So I'm going to start with this card, shares and sharing. So it comes in with a need for balance on 14.5, a need for balance and consideration, to be very, very practical when it comes to money. Because yes, we can share our money with other people, and some believe that that is the right way to do things. You know, maybe you have a socialist or even communist outlook on things. You know, maybe you believe that everything should be shared or redistributed. And again, that can keep us quite poor because we can feel guilty if we suspect that we might end up with more than somebody else. You know, maybe someone in a third world country who has no hope of having as much as us right now. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have more. All right, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have abundance, because you having less doesn't raise them up. It doesn't, I'm afraid. It just doesn't. Energetically, that is not how it works. Yes, you can absolutely share once you have things. If you can allow abundance into your life, you can give it to other people. You can share with other people. You can raise them up. But the sharing aspect of this card can also be about people taking from you, depleting you, taking money from you. You may feel overburdened, like financially you're overburdened at the moment, like people are taking advantage of you. Maybe you're paying the wrong amount of tax right now. Maybe you could make better investments to actually make more of your money, to make it work harder for you, make it work more for you. So again, there's a lot to think about there, a lot to consider. Maybe it's time to get some professional financial advice. Obviously, I can't give financial advice. Disclaimer, this is not financial advice. All right, I'm not qualified to do that. Okay, I'm just looking at the energy. We're looking at the energy. You can go and get the financial advice. So, and anyway, it'll be different depending on which country you're in. You know, goodness me, it varies vastly. Empty pockets, number 6. Empty pockets, full heart. But yeah, there's a definite feeling of poverty that comes through for you, whether you actually live in poverty or not. There's such a feeling of poverty, and it's so sad. And I actually feel some physical pain in my heart chakra and my physical heart right now as I look at this card. And 6 is the number of the heart in the sacred chalice. And there's a real deep sadness I feel for you when it comes to money. There's something, this could be something from your past, from your childhood. It could be something that you brought through from a previous lifetime. It may be nothing to do with this lifetime at all, but there's this real sadness, emptiness that comes through when I tune into money and abundance for you, Pile 2. And that makes me so sad. That's a really, really sad energy. So there's something to clear here. There's something to work on. If you can maybe do a meditation, tap into that sadness, if you can connect with it, see what the origin might be. Ask your guides to show you what the origin of that sadness might be. Because again, I feel this sadness is keeping the money away from you. There's a very, very defensive energy around you when it comes to money with this original card, this little crone figure here. And it might be, because it's funny, this crown figure doesn't actually look very old. They look like they should look old, but when you look at their face, they actually don't look very old at all. Although they do look stressed and tired. It looks like a young person who has been carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders for a long time. And that may well have been you. Maybe you now. It may have been you in the past, in childhood. Somebody who was forced to grow up faster than they should have done, who was maybe robbed of their childhood. In some way, shape or form, you know, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's someone's fault that happened. Things happen. You know, this isn't about blame. This is just about understanding and healing, and looking at what we can do to improve things for ourselves now and in the future. But it does feel to me like somebody pretending to be old. So you may feel older than your years, or you may feel like your lifetime has been very, very long already, even if it hasn't. Okay, you might only be 28 thinking, wow, I feel 60. Okay, I relate to that. I felt very old for a long time. Okay, let's bring in some little message oracle cards here. Change the record. Oh. Remember who you are. I am. Lovely. Okay. So change the record. I really like this card because this is about the thoughts going around in your head or the things that you say. And if you're saying negative things about abundance, about money, stop saying them. Okay, if you keep saying, oh, well, I never have enough money, stop saying that, please. Okay, catch yourself when you're doing it. If you haven't read The Power of Now, I want to recommend that book to you as well, by Eckhart Tolle. Absolutely brilliant book. And it is about controlling the mind, learning how to be the observer of the mind rather than letting negative thought patterns run you and rule your life. And you'll notice this has the number 36 on it, 36-9 and 369. Now, I feel this is an important number combination for you. It is an important number combination when it comes to numerology. It's a very, very powerful combination. And it's also very powerful when it comes to manifesting. And you may have heard that Nikola Tesla used the 369 number combination in his manifesting to get what he wanted. You know, it's a very well-known, special and magical number combination, 369, 369. So I want to say look out for these numbers, 36 and 369 and number 9. Look out for those numbers because I think they will show up as markers on your path, perhaps to nudge you, point you in the right direction. Look out for number 36, 369, 369. So there is also a reminder here. Remember who you are. And again, I feel this comes partly with self-worth, but also to remind you that no matter what political ideas people have about how we should run the world, you are an aspect of the divine just like everybody else. So we should all be living in solidarity, but we all deserve the best. All right? You don't raise anyone else up by lowering yourself down. That just doesn't work because there are always people at the top who will take advantage of that. Just remember who you are and live your life as an example to others. You are the I am presence. You are this amazing, powerful soul. Okay, and there's great wisdom that comes through with 11-2 there as well. There's a reminder, you are wise. I feel many of you do have much spiritual knowledge. Use it. Implement it in your everyday life. And that can be some of the most difficult things to do. Actually implementing the knowledge that we've learned, you know, from reading it and actually learning it experientially, so we really know it. And we don't really know our spiritual lessons until we know them experientially, till we've experienced them, till we've actually done something with that energy, till we've lived it, till we've walked our talk. So there's kind of a little bit of a gauntlet being thrown down for some of you here. Is it time for you to walk your talk? Okay, is it time for you to step up and actually do the things you tell other people to do? Okay, is it time to take some of your theory now when it comes to abundance, to money, and put that into practice? Because I feel like it might be. Okay. So there's lots to think about there. Okay, you already hold the key, but it is time for you to take the lead here, and this is going to be interesting. I feel very much like you can be a leading light for abundance, for the new age of Aquarius, for the energy and the way that people work. So rather than everybody being dragged down to the same level through, I don't know, socialism or equity, which is never a good way to do things because energetically we all end up at the bottom. We don't want that. We want to lift everybody else up. Okay, equity doesn't do that. Socialism can't do that. Believe me, I live in a socialist country. You need freedom. You need freedom to do that. Freedom and fire. So find your way to do it so that you can help people, so that you can lift other people up whilst elevating yourself financially as well. I feel very strongly that it's up to you to be an example for your family line, and for other people around you, for people, communities that you care about. I think you can make a big difference to them, but you must lead by example. Okay, you must lead by example. Learn how to be abundant and show them what you did. That is how you will teach. I feel that is an important part of your mission here on earth and your soul's path right now. So, just to finish off, passion requires follow through. 48. Now that's interesting, because I had 48 in pile 1's reading. I'm so drawn to pile 1's reading for you as well. Again, if it resonates, do watch it, because there's a lot of crossover coming through here. Very similar themes. 48, completion of karmic contract. I want you to walk your talk, or at least think about doing it. Okay, the things that you wanted to do, to achieve, get on and do them, however hard it might seem. Even if you think, oh, I can't do that, I haven't got enough money, find a way to do it. If you really want to do it, you'll find a way. If you really want to achieve something, you will find a way to acquire the money, to raise the money, to fund yourself. You can do this. You can absolutely do this. And it's important that you do. It is very, very important that you do, because you're at the end of a cycle in your life right now. And there is a new cycle coming in. Okay. Transformation is going to happen, whether you want it to or not. Changes are going to happen in your life, whether you want it to or not. I feel like the status quo cannot remain for very much longer for you. So it's time to take your courage in both hands and actually decide where you want it to go now. Where do you want it to go? How do you want to live? How much money do you want? What level of abundance do you want to live at? So take all of that away and see where you want to go with it. So I will leave you there, pile 2, at numerology 5555. So we're at 55 minutes and 55 seconds here on the video. So that's some powerful numerology there. I'm going to leave you with those numbers. Very adventurous numerology, very transformational, and also will engage your mind. Use your mind. You've got this. Use your mind. Use your higher mind. You've absolutely got this. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a like. Please do leave me a comment if there's something that you would like to say, to share with us all. I do read every comment, and I will see you very soon. Take very good care of yourself. Bye-bye. Hello, pile 3. You've chosen the pile of cards with the little crystal gift or present. We'll pop that here. And let's take a look at your first cards. Okay, so we have 44, surrender to the flow. 29, nourish the soul. And 6, change is unavoidable. So this is an interesting combination of cards to see here. It does feel very much like the universe is already at work for you, pile 3. I feel like maybe you've already done the manifesting work. Maybe you've already done it without realising it. Because it does feel like the change is coming. The change is unavoidable, in fact, and it is connected to the heart on that number 6. And surrender to the flow on 44-8. So this is 44. That's concrete. That's real life stuff. It's all happening at the moment. So it seems to me that the suggestion right now for you is very much to hang on to your hat and just continue with your spiritual practice, continue with your manifesting, continue with what nourishes your soul, because it looks like the money's coming in. So it may be that you've already taken a new direction, or you're about to take a new direction, or you've asked for a new direction, a new job, a new set of circumstances to come in for you. And it looks like it's going to happen quite quickly, because this leaf is moving very swiftly indeed, and it feels like there's maybe some astrological influences as well, which might be quite noticeable for you at the moment. So it'll be very interesting to see what's happening in your chart right now compared with what's actually happening in the sky. But there's a lot of wisdom here, because we've got 29-11 too. So it feels like wisdom and higher spiritual knowledge is very much the crux of things for you. So it may be that you're working on your spiritual path right now. You've been trying to find ways to bring more money, more wealth, more abundance into your life. And maybe you've stumbled across the spiritual aspect of all of these things. Maybe you've been working with manifesting, with the law of attraction. You've been trying to learn about those things. I want to say continue with your spiritual study, whatever it is that's working for you right now, whether it's a spiritual practice. It could just be yoga, or Reiki, could be anything, whatever it is that you feel drawn to do at the moment, make sure you're doing it, because it feels very much like your soul is crying out for nourishment. You're thirsty for nourishment, hungry for that knowledge, that ancient knowledge. So you may really feel drawn to read ancient texts at the moment, to study about ancient magics, ancient practices, the things that the ancients knew from Atlantis, Lemuria, the ancient world. It feels like there's a very, very strong connection there. You may be studying higher magics as well, or shamanism from the South Americas, for example. And suddenly my voice is going really deep now. So there's something happening here with this energy, with this magical energy. I'm going to a very deep my voice is going kind of deep, which is strange to me, but it lets me know that there's an energy coming through which is actually quite masculine but very powerful. So I feel it may be the masculine energy that you're working with right now, which is absolutely fine. It is there to work with, and it is very much connected to money and abundance, but also the heart. So I do feel there is some healing to be done for you with connection to the divine masculine. And that could be the divine masculine within you, or with relationships with men in your life. Perhaps family members, perhaps the father relationship needs looking at. That might have been quite toxic for some of you, I think. But I want to say for you to focus very much on the masculine energy, because it seems to be that's where you will shine at the moment. That's where you will have the most to learn and the most to gain. It may be that you've already learned about the feminine, the divine feminine, the sacred feminine. Perhaps you've already brought that through with you from a past lifetime. Maybe you don't need to learn about that in this lifetime. Perhaps your role involves empowering men. Perhaps you are a man seeking empowerment for yourself, for other men, seeking to bring back the balance between masculine and feminine, and men and women, which is so crucial right now and so important for all of us, because where we go one, we go all. We can't leave people behind. We have to go together. The masculine and feminine, the male and female, we all have to go together. And we all have a blend of the masculine and feminine energies within us as well. And you may be drawn to the ancient esoteric Eastern philosophies as well there. I think that could be something very interesting for you. And as I said that, I looked down at the timer where I'm filming here on my phone, and it said 010101. So I just want to hand that numerology over to you, 010101. That is all about new beginnings. We've also got 3 ones there, which is a very angelic energy, very kind of high vibrational energy, but we've also had the 3 zeros, so that brings in unlimited potential for you right now. I feel that through your own spiritual study you may actually find new ways to increase the levels of abundance in your life, and I think that's going to be a very, very exciting journey if you're brave enough to take that next step. So let's bring in some more cards now. We have number 8, happy success. And we have number 8 again, the healing light. Oh, some interesting numerology going on for you. So 2 8s. I like that. I mean, 8 is a very powerful number when it comes to money and abundance. It is in numerology, and it's also recognised in the East. 8 is considered a lucky number for money. It goes along with the colour red. We don't really think about it as a lucky number so much here in the West for some reason. I don't know if it's something that we're ignorant of, or if it's just fallen out of our traditions and we tend to think of 7 as lucky, but 7's a mystical number. If you want something concrete, you go with 8. If you want money, you go with 8. If you want longevity, you go with 8. If you want endurance, you go with 8. This is the energy of the number 8. 8 energy can also be exhausting. So I do want to say, I feel like some of you have some workaholic tendencies. I feel like some of you work a little bit too hard, and so when you're being told to surrender and go with the flow rather than being in control of everything and being the backbone and being the one doing all the peddling, that's going to feel very strange to you. If you're used to commanding the ship and being the one using the oars and deciding on the direction, then it's going to be very strange to be told to let go, step back, sit down, relax, and let the universe do it for you. Let the universe show you the way, and it can be so much easier than you ever thought it could. And it feels like there may be a little bit of self-punishment in there as well, pile 3. I feel like there are feelings of unworthiness, but it goes beyond that. It goes to self-punishment for you. And that could be where the perfectionism comes in. It could also be a past life. Maybe you did things in a past life that you were ashamed of, and you brought that trauma through, or you felt you'd done wrong even if you hadn't, and you brought that trauma through with you. So there could be some ancestral karma to actually clear here. It's quite difficult. quite a difficult energy, because there's this real exhaustion as well for some of you. So I really want to focus on the healing light here, which is being shown to you. You're being reminded that you can absolutely be successful. And look, they're both holding lights. Look, he's got these lovely lights in his hands. He's got two of them, and she's got this one beautiful moonlight here. So it's almost like the masculine and feminine energies of the light being represented to you in these two cards. I also want to talk about the possibility of a house move for you, pile 3, because I'm looking at the little birds on these cards. I'm looking at the clouds, and I'm just drawn to talk about travel. Or are they waves? Who's to say? It's really hard to tell. I'm really drawn to talk about travel for you. And look at this huge horizon. Is that a beach over there? You know, is it a town? Is it a castle? Very drawn to travel, or possibly a relocation that could be coming up for you. And I think that will be successful. I think it will be a positive move for you, a positive change for you, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. And it feels to me like there will be so much help, so much assistance from the universe with these changes that are coming up. So there will be a lot less to do than you might actually be expecting at this time. It's going to be a lot easier for you than you might be expecting, because the light is shining down on you. See this light literally landing in his hand. It's like the universe is filling up your hands right now with the things that you need. The goodness, the love is coming in for you. You just have to catch it in your hands. Really beautiful energy, very beautiful. And while you're mostly working the masculine energy, there is this beautiful feminine influence as well that comes into balance. And that could be a woman in your life, or somebody with a very strong feminine energy in your life. That doesn't necessarily have to be a woman. It can be a male with a very feminine energy, a very, very loving, healing energy, very psychic energy. So it feels like you've got support there. It feels like there are people around you, literally, people around you, not just the universe, who are trying to help you, trying to facilitate positive change in your life, changes that will make things better, but you kind of need to let go of the reins to let it happen. Yeah, focus on your spirituality, your spiritual practice, and let other people do the hard work. Let them do some of the heavy lifting, because otherwise you're just going to stay in this place of exhaustion, I think, and that could really be a self-fulfilling prophecy, ending up in like a very difficult position, always having to struggle, always having to strive for the things that you want, no matter how hard you work. And I know that you're a hard worker. I can see from the numerology here, you're a very hard worker. You are somebody who perhaps has workaholism problems sometimes. Maybe you've been told that you do too much, that you try too hard. You know, I've certainly had that said to me before. It's quite hurtful when someone says that to you. You know, it hurts when someone says, oh, you work too hard. Well, aren't we supposed to work hard? Isn't that a good thing? But I'm saying it to you in the most loving way possible. I'm saying it to you because I want you to be okay. I want you to have the best life that you can, okay? I want you to be able to rest, to relax, to have the things that you want. When I say you do too much, I'm coming from a place of love when I say that. I'm saying that so that you can let other people pick up some of the tasks, the jobs that you do for everybody else or for yourself. You don't have to do it alone. You are not alone. It's okay to lean on the people around you, because there are people around you, particularly this feminine influence here. This person's going to help you, I think, more than others. But there is support for you. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be that lone wolf. So let's bring in some more cards. Okay, we have 21, Embrace. And we have 7, Crown Chakra. Oh, wow, you really can do it all. Now look at this. Isn't this interesting? Look at their arms. They're both holding their hands up. All right. Of all of the cards in all of the decks I'm using here, I think these are the only 2 that are doing that. Okay, I'm not aware of any other people doing that in any of these decks. So that's a very interesting synchronicity here. These men, and it is the masculine energy again, they are holding their arms up to receive. That's what you're being told to do. Hold your arms out wide and receive the goodness, the abundance that the universe has for you now. This is why you can take a bit of a load off. You've done enough. Okay, now you just have to receive. You can stop working, stop striving quite so much. Take a bit of a load off while these changes happen in your life. Then you can get going again. Not saying you never have to do anything ever again. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But of course that's not the case, or not for most of you anyway. But yes, it's beautiful. It is rooted in love, rooted in the heart. So I want to say there's a connection to the heart chakra here. I want to talk about heart healing for you when it comes to money and abundance. I feel like that's an important theme. And if you're looking for more wealth, more money, more abundance in your life, I want to say focus on the heart and what the heart wants. Okay. And what the heart needs and the healing that needs to be done there. So if you do Reiki, you could do Reiki healing on your heart, or you could use green crystals for the heart. I really like this one. This is malachite. This is my favourite heart healer. Okay. It's hardcore. You know, it's a bit of a tough cookie as crystals go. Don't wear it in jewellery, it's far too strong for that. But if you hold it in your left hand just for a short period of time, you may actually feel it working on your heart chakra. And as soon as it starts to feel uncomfortable, you can put it down again, and make sure you cleanse it. Make sure you cleanse that crystal either under moonlight or with some clear quartz, or you can just run it underwater. But very, very powerful heart healer. And I feel for you, pile 3, that's a very crucial piece of the puzzle here. It feels like that is a vital piece of the puzzle for you to actually do that heart healing for yourself, so that you can be whole in that area, so that you can receive. Because in order to receive, our heart needs to be in balance as well for us to receive all of the gifts that the universe has for us. Now, that doesn't mean that your heart has to be in balance for you to be rich. That's just not the case at all. But you won't be happy when the money arrives. That's the difference. We're trying to bring all of the aspects of into integration for you. This is some integration work right now that we're doing. I refer to myself as an integration worker. You might too. I used to call myself a light worker. Then I realised how toxic it was to only be working in half of the energy when we should be working to integrate the two together. I mean, that is the symbol of the yin and yang, is both in perfect harmony working together, because we are both. We are light and dark, whether we like it or not. We live in this world of duality. We live in this amazing realm, this 3D realm, which is absolutely fascinating to live in. But there is light and there is shadow, and as long as we understand the shadow and that we integrate it and we treat it with love and compassion and healing, it's nothing to fear. It's no problem whatsoever. It's only a problem when it's cast out from the light, when the light looks down on it and treats it as something bad and reprehensible. That's when societies get into trouble. So crown chakra, number 7. So this is a very, very spiritual angle coming in here. Very, very powerful spiritual angle. So it comes in next to the healing light. So it feels like there is literally healing coming through for you from the higher realms. Like angelic healing coming through for you or something, or from your spirit guides, or from spirit. I don't know if you've recently had some spirit healing, some spiritual healing, some Reiki, some form of alternative healing, or you've been praying to the angels or to God to bring you healing so that you can feel better, or to bring you spiritual growth, to bring you knowledge, to bring you foresight, insight. I know those things are very important to you, Part 3. But it's coming through. It's absolutely coming through the crown chakra right now. So you may even notice it when it happens. You may be getting downloads as well at the moment, which is what I call information that comes through sort of automatically to the body system, which is like a computer. Our body, mind, emotion system is kind of like technology in a way. So we do receive upgrades and downloads to it at certain times, and that is something I talk about quite a lot, because it is incredibly important when that happens. And we are evolving as a species, we are growing and ascending as a species, which means that we are requiring a lot of upgrades at the moment. We're requiring a lot of downloads from the higher realms at the moment, and they're definitely coming through for you. I would say particularly to do with abundance for you right now, because we've got this beautiful 1,000-petaled lotus that representing the crown chakra. I think that could be quite a powerful symbol for you as well, the lotus. I mean, particularly the one associated with the crown chakra. I think they call it the 1,000-petal lotus, is it? Or the 1,000,000-petal lotus, I forget. You can look it up, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I forget. But it doesn't matter. Because it's definitely this chakra that's being highlighted. You are receiving a lot of information through here, a lot of higher information. And I think this is because of your diligence of actually doing your spiritual study here, or being interested in doing the spiritual study. And if you're not aware of it coming in at the moment, you will be soon enough. It is coming in. If you haven't started the spiritual study yet, I would say please do pick up a book, whatever it is that you're drawn to. Do that spiritual study, because it's going to help you so much. It's really going to add so many quivers to your bow. I want to say, I'm just given the symbol of arrows in my mind. I'm seeing a quiver full of arrows. So I want to say it's really going to add so much more ammunition to you and what you're able to do and achieve. Your spirituality as it grows and evolves, and as you grow and evolve and come into balance with your heart and your crown, I really feel like you have a chance to go on and do great things and to be incredibly happy, but also to bring the healing light to other people in this world, because that is part of your path. That is part of your soul's path, I believe, path 3 for you. It is your job to be here to actually bring healing through for other people. But I feel there is a deeper need for you to do the healing for yourself first, for you to receive first. That bit will come later. Don't worry about it at this time. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to plant the seed in your mind because that is going to be coming up for you. But right now, focus on receiving. Learn how to receive. That is your challenge right now. And that's not as easy as it sounds. Particularly, lots of us, we're told to say no when somebody offers us something, particularly when we're a child, you know, when you're a kid and your parents say, oh, no, if somebody offers you something, you've got to say no. And there's a number of reasons that we're told that, partly on safety grounds, because you don't want to be accepting sweets from strangers or, you know, cookies with dodgy things in them from the crazy old hippie lady down the road. But at the same time, we go into adulthood feeling very, very unworthy as a result of the messaging we get in childhood and from society. And that's not the fault of our parents necessarily. It just is what it is. They probably had the same messaging as well. They didn't know any better. So what I want to talk about is learning how to receive. And I also want to mention going on a negativity diet. If you're somebody that gets very caught up in negative thought patterns, and most people are, to be perfectly honest, very few people are not afflicted by this. And I do want to talk about being very present, being very aware of what your thoughts are, and trying to banish all negative thoughts from your mind, maybe for a 24-hour period, and just see what happens. I tried it for a weekend one time. It was really fun. I floated around on a cloud and everyone was so nice to me. It's like my energy was like shiny and pink and everyone was coming over to me saying, oh, hello, you look good today, how are you, you know, have you done something different with your hair? It's really funny. Strangers in the supermarket were like coming over to be nice to me. It was hilarious. It's really fun and it's a very good practice as well, and it helps you to get yourself into a more positive energy, a more to a frequency more suitable to actually receive the abundance, the wealth, the goodness that you want. But it is about learning to receive. So again, for those of you that are not good receivers, and that's probably most of you, I have a suggestion for the next, I don't know, say 14 days. What you could try doing is say yes to everybody who offers to do something for you. Every time someone offers to give you something, to do something for you, to do something nice for you, say yes. And that's going to feel very strange and very uncomfortable at first. That sounds easy, doesn't it? But it's not. It's absolutely not easy. It's quite unnerving. But that will allow you to flex your receiving muscles and to get better at actually doing that. Get better at receiving. And once we get better at receiving, we get better at getting stuff. Okay? So we can do all the manifesting work that we want. But if we're not good at receiving, then it won't get through the door. When it arrives, we'll leave the parcel on the doorstep and then wonder why it hasn't arrived. But it was just on the doorstep the whole time. Okay, so let's bring in some more cards. Okay, it is not about controlling my thoughts. It is about guiding them. Ah, here we go. Now this is interesting because I hadn't looked at this card. I read them, you know, I read them as I do the video. I don't normally look at them beforehand, just so that it's fresh. That is interesting. It is about, yes, changing your thoughts, guiding your thoughts. The Power of Now is a really good book to learn how to do that. If you haven't already read it, it's absolutely brilliant. One of my favourites by Eckhart Tolle. I will put a link to that in the description below. I'll put the name down for you so you can find it. And also, if you want to learn more about manifesting, you can check out my book, which is called Dream Bigger, How the Law of Attraction Really Works. And I will put a link to that on Amazon in the description below. So, we are not encouraging you to make an effort to control your thoughts, but instead to more or less guide your thoughts. That's quite a different energy, isn't it? Rather than making the mind your enemy, you're treating it like a child, like a puppy that needs guiding on a lead rein, you know, on a lead or on a rein, a horse on a rein. So you're treating it actually with love and kindness. Because this is the thing, the ego mind, as we call it, which is the lower aspect of the mind, which kind of runs on autopilot. It's the bit of the mind that we think is us most of the time, unless we've learned to be the observer of it. And it tends to rule the roost, which is very unhelpful because it was never designed to do that, and it will always take us in very difficult directions depending on what it's learned throughout its time, whatever thought patterns it's picked up from family, school, society, workplace, about what it thinks we're supposed to do. And when we first learn to become the observer of the mind, it's very easy to see it as an enemy, to see it as an adversary, as a rival for control. And we don't have to do that. And I really like how they're putting it on this card. We don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be a fight. It can be done in a much gentler way. So reaching for the way you would like to feel is an easier way to hold your thoughts in vibrational alignment with that which you believe is good. Oh, that's nice. So what they're saying here is to leverage your emotions so that it brings your thoughts into alignment with the emotion, and then that brings you into the frequency of what it is that you want to manifest. So obviously you'll be going to good thoughts, you won't be going to negative ones. If you're making yourself feel good, hopefully you won't be going to bad thoughts with that. When we feel good, usually we feel positive and we feel happy, and that gives us more happy thoughts, and that's lovely. And trying to stay in that happy energy as well. Look how joyful this man is. Look at him, he's so happy. How this one's a little bit more sedate, but again, he's still happy, he's smiling, but he looks more meditative. And his crown chakra again is lit up. It's that 1,000-petal lotus again, which I'm very drawn to for you, which I think may show up on your path as some sort of marker. It may show up to point the way for you somewhere. It might be on a card, in a shop somewhere, or somebody might mention it. You might see it and go, oh, I feel like it's a message for me. There's some synchronicity going on there, and that absolutely could be the case. So let's pop this one down and let's bring in our cosmic ordering card. So if you are not able to decide, order some clarity and advice on what is right for you at the moment. Oh, I like that. Okay, I do like that very much. Very often we don't actually know what we want, or we think we know what we want, but we're not really sure what we should have. And it can be very confusing when we're first starting to manifest, or even if we're way down the path and we just don't really know where to go next, perhaps because nothing seems to be working. So that can be fantastic advice. Ask for clarity. Manifest the clarity that you need. Okay, you don't always have to be manifesting money, wealth and abundance, which is what a lot of us focus on, or love. That seem to be the favourites, don't they? Money or love. Just want to manifest money and love. But we can manifest the clarity or manifest the advice we need. And I feel like this feminine energy here is actually going to be giving you some advice as well. I feel this person is already in your life to do that. But there is, of course, more advice to be had from all sorts of different quarters, sorts of different people. Trust that you will make a decision anyway at some point. No decision is just the decision to wait. You cannot not decide. That is true. That is absolutely true. And I want to go back to the first card with this, because surrendering and going with the flow is also a decision. It's not abdicating your decision. You're trusting the universe. The decision that you're making there is to trust the bountiful universe, which wants to give you all of this stuff. You're trusting it to give to you. You're standing there with your arms open wide, with your heart exposed. Very vulnerable, but open, loving, trusting, full of compassion, full of love, waiting for those gifts to shower down upon you. And that's a really beautiful energy for you to be in. Very, very powerful message. Very beautiful message there. So let's take a look at the Abundance Oracle cards. Now this is a deck that just came through for me today. So we've written them out from my guides. It's the first time I'm using them in this video. So let's see what they've got for you here, what advice they have for you. Wealth and assets, a number 8. There's another 8 coming through. 8 is definitely an important number for you, pile 3. It's definitely an important one. Be interesting to do your numerology actually and see what shows up there. You might find some 8s showing up. Or you could be in an 8 year or an 8 month or something right now for your personal year. I'm actually a numerologist, so if that doesn't make sense, I apologise. But there are some great books out there, some great resources where you can actually find those things out for yourself. So, right, wealth and assets, number 8, money magic 1. Yeah, so it does really feel almost like the abundance, the wealth that you want is kind of going to show up almost by like as if by magic. I feel like some of you are already quite well off. Some of you watching are certainly going to be quite well off already. And I think for you, it might be a case of better wealth management, of investing in the right assets, investing your money wisely in the right things, and not getting bad advice anymore, because you may have had some really, really crappy advice from financial advisors who, despite their qualifications, can be very wrong a lot of the time, you know, and a lot of things are very risky as well when it comes to finance, aren't they? You know, we put money into stocks and shares. There's no guarantee you're ever going to get any of that back again. Okay. Raise your vibration. Okay. 35.8. So there's another 8 there. So 35. The reason I say 35.8 is because 3 plus 5 equals 8. And we always reduce to a single figure, single digit in numerology. So money magic. You're very empowered right now. And number 1 is also the number of the magician. It's about new beginnings, new starts. So it does feel like on an energetic level, if not now, then very soon, you're going to be very powerfully empowered to actually acquire the things that you want, to bring that money into your life, because we've got all of these 8s. There's all of this abundance. It feels like your hard work is going to pay off, and it's going to pay off quite suddenly in really quite magical ways, or ways that will appear to be magical perhaps to people from the outside. They might look at it and go, oh, you're so lucky, I can't believe that happened for you. Whereas the truth is, you've actually been working on something for a very long time, and you very much deserve what's happening to you. Okay, it's not flash in the pan. Like they say, you know, an overnight success is usually 10 years in the making. Okay, but it does feel like your chicken's coming home to roost in the best possible way. But I do want to talk about raising your vibration and trying to stay in a more positive mindset and allowing yourself to receive, because that feels so important for you pile 3. Oh, star being starseed. Passion requires follow through. 48. Oh wow, another 8. Now 48. Whew, yeah, that's some tough energy there again. 4s and 8s. Star being starseed. So it could be that you're actually a starseed yourself. It may be something that you've sensed or that you believe to be the case. You may have had other lifetimes on other planets. I also want to say there may be a connection to, which system was it? So I'm just waiting for my guides to tell me. Orion. Oh, Orion. Oh, thank you. I want to say a connection to Orion for you watching. There's a connection to Orion, and this could be where some of this information is coming through too, because I think the knowledge that they share will actually chime very strongly with you. That's what I'm being told at the moment. And I think when it all starts to move, when it all starts to happen, you're going to learn new ways of manifesting, creating wealth, money, abundance, and they want you to keep doing it once you get the hang of it. Keep doing it. Maybe teach others as well, but keep doing it. Don't stop once you get the hang of this. This isn't going to be a flash in the pan one-off. It's going to be a new way of doing things in your life, a new whole new system of doing things in your life, which is great, because it's very much time for that to happen now. We're moving into the age of Aquarius. You know, we're no longer in this old age of Pisces. We're in this completely new energy that we're moving into. None of us humans really knows how to work with it. It's quite alien to us, literally. It's quite strange. We don't really know what we're doing. But I think you will be one of the forerunners of understanding how to work with money and finance in the new age. And this is partly the direction you're going in at the moment. So it might be something quite original, like cryptocurrency, or something completely different, or, I don't know, magic beans, whatever we use to barter with in the future, or to as a method of exchange. I don't know what that's going to be, but I have a feeling you may well, or some of you may well, be a part of that, because remember, this is a group reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't make sense. Okay, wow, that was a lot, pile 3. Okay, you're very special. I'm very honoured to be tapping into your energy here today. So please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please do leave a like for this video and leave me a comment if there's something you would like to share. I do love to see your comments. I do read every single one. You take very, very good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, pile 4. You've chosen the pile of cards with the little pyrite crystal here, which forms into a perfect, or more or less perfect, cube. This one's a little bit chipped here, so we'll pop her over here to oversee the reading. Oops. Okay, so let's take a look at your first cards. We have 26, Love Without Condition. Beautiful. 13, Follow the Moon. And number 50, You Were Born to Create. Wow, this is a very soft energy, and I feel like my voice has gone very soft as well with the energy influencing it. When I was doing pile 3, my voice went very deep at one point, which was fascinating because I was tapping into masculine energy, but my energy is going very soft here. So it's very soft and feminine. We're being invited to be very gentle with ourselves here, pile 4. Wow. There's a very innocent, childlike quality coming through here as well, I feel. You're such a beautiful soul, I want to say, pile 4. So beautiful. I mean, it would bring some people to tears, the beauty that you have. And I don't just mean to look at. I mean your soul. I mean the healing, the friendship that you actually bring to other people. Wow. Whew. It's a little bit overwhelming, to be honest. It's rather powerful, rather wonderful to look at here. And it does feel to me like you already work with the divine feminine. It could be that you already have a spiritual practice which may be sort of feminine centric, maybe goddess centric, something like that. You may already work with, you know, witchcraft or something like that, or the ancient crafts. But it does feel like your energy tends more towards the feminine, and it doesn't matter if you're male or female, that's irrelevant, okay? But it feels like you work with those gentle energies, and as a result it can be very difficult to manifest things in the concrete, especially money, which tends to resonate more with the masculine energy. It can be very difficult to manifest the money and success that we want, particularly when it feels like you're more concerned with taking care of people and taking care of people's emotions, and keeping people on an even keel. I feel I'm doing this with my hands. It's almost like I'm on the sea. I feel like I'm in water with you. It's such a beautiful emotional energy. But you're also very creative with this powerful dragon coming in on 50. There's so much wisdom in you. So much hidden wisdom, I feel, that you can tap into as well. I feel like you brought a lot through with you. People might have said when you were a child that you seemed like a, you know, an old head on young shoulders, or perhaps when you were a child you used to tell your parents things you couldn't possibly have known, maybe some natural psychic ability coming through there, you know, maybe some natural mediumistic ability coming through there. Maybe you had imaginary friends, or you could see spirit when you were young. Even if you weren't aware of that happening, you may well have done so. And of course this is a group reading, so that's not going to be necessarily true for everybody. Take what makes sense for you and leave what doesn't. Everybody is different, slightly different, of course, but there's this powerful, beautiful dragon energy coming through here. And this is Cosmic Dragon. All right, this is Cosmic Dragon Tarot, this channel. And I'm very drawn to the Cosmic Dragon energy for you. Such wisdom, but wisdom of the ages. You feel like an ancient priestess that's turned up in this lifetime for some reason, and you might be wondering what you're even doing here, right? You may have had moments where you were like, what am I doing here? I don't feel like I belong. I don't feel like this is the lifetime I was supposed to be having right now. But for better or worse, you are here with us, I'm afraid. And we do need you as well. You know, you are important to this world. You're not here by accident in any way, shape or form. You are here to teach people how to love. I think perhaps learn how to love yourself. You may have even had a difficult upbringing or something, so that you could learn about loving, unconditional love, compassion, higher levels of love and compassion. And very often those of us who know that stuff, we have been through very, very challenging situations in our own lives, which can teach us many things, you know, even difficult. Well, the most difficult situations, I think, are the ones that probably teach us the most. Just wanted to bring this card in because it wanted to come in right at the beginning. I accidentally knocked my pile of cards and this one came out immediately. And I said, is that for me or is that for the reading? And they said, you'll see. Yes, you're a divine being in human form. #truth 56112. So it comes in with a huge amount of wisdom, but the wisdom of the heart and the mind working together. And I think you are one of these people that has the ability to do that, which is really quite remarkable, which makes you remarkable. Okay, now when I say you're a divine being in human form, we all are. All right, it's not just you, we all are, of course we are. But I feel like you may be a little bit more aware of it than other people. And if you're not aware of it, then I'm telling you now, you are a divine being in human form. Yes, I feel there have been very powerful past lifetimes, possible priestess lifetimes. This is very beautiful, gentle energy coming through here, very powerful. I'm going to bring in some more cards here. So we have fear, and we have joyous fun. Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's very sad for someone so sensitive, for there to be all of this fear. Yeah, I do feel like this is the underlying issue when it comes to you not having the levels of abundance or money that you want. On the face of it, you may call it something else, but the energy is fear. There's a deep fear of having what you want or need when it comes to money, abundance, wealth, maybe property. Maybe you don't own property because something's blocking you there, or you don't have the one you want because something's blocking you, or it's difficult for you. Very difficult. Because then on the other side, we've got like the opposite, joy. Joyous fun. The energy of joy is the complete opposite of fear. That's quite a dichotomy. Perhaps that's a part of you that you hide from other people, because you do have this very mystical quality, so it's possible that you're quite a mysterious person in file 4, and that you don't let a lot of people in. And that's not to say that you don't help other people. I think you help a huge number of other people, but I don't think you really let a lot of people in. Not in close to your heart. You don't let them in. Wow. And it's not uncommon, to be honest, to find people who are such gentle, loving souls, powerful, spiritual beings, to also be carrying this absolutely terrified shadow with them as well. And I think this is something for you to work on right now, for you to help your shadow to feel safer. And it's a lack of safety, I feel, for you. But like, it's not safe for you to have money. It's not safe for you to have the abundance that you want for some reason, as if you'll be punished if you have it. And this could come from past religious lifetimes, priest, priestess, monk, nun type lifetimes. Yes, where you renounced worldly goods, where you renounced earning money, owning things. That can definitely be a part of it. But I want to scratch a little deeper. It feels almost like you weren't allowed to, it's a slave lifetime. Right. Okay. For some of you, there is also a slave lifetime where you were not allowed, not permitted to have your own possessions, to have money. Okay. And this could also be ancestral karma, because there's such a feminine energy here. This could be ancestral karma that comes down your family line from the women who came before you. Look, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, but the women in your family line who could not own property, who couldn't have a bank account without their husband's name or their brother's name or their father's name being on it. It does feel like there is this fear, almost like I'm not allowed money. That's what I want to say for you. That's the energy I'm getting. That's the blockage I'm picking up on for you. And that seems a very important one for you right now. There's a fear of not being allowed to have what you want, to have the abundance, the money, the wealth, the happiness. Welsh. Interesting I said Welsh. I'm just going to bring Wales in there. Possible connection to Wales for some of you. Or to Welsh ancestry, perhaps, maybe. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a moment. Because the other aspect of you is actually very beautiful and joyful. I see it. It's almost you're a dichotomy. People who know you genuinely only see this side, this side, this side. They don't see that. They don't see the dark shadow, but the dragon knows. The cosmic dragon sees everything. You can't hide anything from him. He's going to see it. He's going to know how you truly feel. He's going to look directly into your soul, into your heart. And your heart feels... When I talk about this, it's almost like it shuts down, like it feels cold, like it's switched off, it's turned all the lights out. Don't want to be seen. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't notice. Don't notice how afraid I am. Kind of like a little rabbit hiding in a hedgerow, cowering, going, please don't notice me. If I stay still, the fox won't see me. There's a real fear, which I feel may be coming from a past lifetime, but again also may be connected to the to ancestral karma, particularly to do with women in your family line. I mean, it could be to do with men as well, because I'm picking up slave lifetimes for some of you. It could be ancestral karma to do with slavery, to be fair. But there's a real fear surrounding money, a fear of having it like you're not allowed. It's not permitted. That's very challenging. Very challenging. And my voice is kind of going to a whisper now, almost like, shh, I can't say anything about this. We've got to be quiet. It's very hushed energy. Okay, let's bring in some more cards. So we have number 9, rest and reconsider. Number 4, heart chakra. Yes, it's the heart. It's the heart. It's all about the heart for you. And that's what it is, because you have such a loving heart. But the heart needs to come into balance now. The heart needs to be brave and understand how loving, how deserving it is. You're a divine being in human form. You deserve everything. But your heart is afraid. And that's okay. It's allowed to be afraid. You know, we're not going to have a go at it for that. We're not going to be mean or unkind to your heart for that. But the heart chakra definitely needs some attention, I want to say. I want to suggest some gentle crystals for you. This is ruby and fuchsite. I'm drawn to this one for you, which is a very gentle crystal to work with. Very, very beautiful energy. If you can't get hold of, I mean, this didn't cost too much. I think it was about £7 or something. So it's about, I don't know, $7 or $8. Yeah, it's not an expensive one particularly to get hold of. But if you can't get hold of it, then just Google it and look at a picture, gaze at the crystal, and you'll be able to feel its energy. So you don't even need to have some if you really can't get it. Of course, it's better to have it if you can. But if you can't, then just use a picture of some, or, you know, get a book with a picture of it in. That's absolutely fine. You can totally do that and still feel that energy. Particularly for you, Pile 4, because you're someone who's very intuitive, and I feel you would be very much able to do that. So I want to say, give yourself a break. I'm going to rest and reconsider. Give yourself a break when it comes to money. Let yourself off the hook. I think you've done everything you thought you could. And this underlying fear has really been holding you back all of this time. And if you didn't know about that, then I don't think you would have been able to do very much about it. I don't think you would have been able to fix it, or at least not permanently. Maybe some temporary fixes, but nothing would have stuck. If you didn't understand about this ancient fear that you've been carrying around with you, that may not even be yours originally, maybe from a past life or from ancestral karma. So there is definitely a suggestion here to meditate on this, meditate on where this fear is coming from, meditate on the heart chakra, bring the heart chakra into your meditation, invite it in, invite it to talk to you, invite your heart to talk to you in your meditation, in your spiritual practice. And I'm talking here as if I assume you know how to do that, which you may not, and I apologise if you don't know how to do that, but it doesn't have to be difficult. You can literally just find a quiet place and sit, close your eyes for a moment, and just say in your mind, heart chakra, is there something you want to tell me? You know, what is it that you would like to tell me? What are you afraid of? And then just sit with it. Sit quietly with it for a moment, for a few minutes, you know, for 5-10 minutes, and see what impressions come through to you. It may not come through as words, it may come through as images or feelings, and see just what comes through. And there may be tears as well as you release some of that fear, and that is absolutely okay and absolutely positive. So, my greatest gift to give is my happiness. That's beautiful. You are someone who brings such happiness to the world. My greatest gift to give is my happiness. That's beautiful. I really love that. Love Without Condition was our first card. Wow. This lovely little fairy princess kind of energy coming through here. You are this bundle of light. You are here to help people to live their joy. And I think with the joyous fun card here, I think you do try to live that. I think you do try to live a very happy, joyful life. You try to be that role model to other people, to show them how to lighten up, how to be okay. But the only disconnect, I think, comes when it comes to money, when it comes to abundance. So that's not to say you don't have any money at all, but I feel like you don't have the levels you want, or you wouldn't be watching this video. And again, I want to talk about the colour green, all right? Because the colour green in like sympathetic magic terms would be used for money spells, for money working. But it's also the colour of the heart chakra. So there is a very noticeable connection there between money and the heart. And I would suggest to you to meditate on that, to see where that takes you. And I think for you particularly, it's this fear within the heart chakra that's stopping you from getting the abundance that you would actually like to have right now. So let's read this card. The greatest gift that you could ever give is your own happiness. Wow. When you're in a state of joy or appreciation, you are connected to the stream of source energy that is truly who you are, divine being in human form, and anything or anyone that you are holding as your object of attention benefits from your attention. You see, you bring so much joy and peace and happiness to other people just by being, which is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And you are so worthy and so deserving of all of the wonderful things that are going to be coming to you on your path. So let's bring in a cosmic ordering card now. So, if what the universe delivers isn't enough for you, your only option is to work on yourself. Yes, yes, it absolutely is. That is always the answer. It's always the answer to work on yourself. There's always something to clear, always something to heal if you're not getting the results you want from your manifesting. Okay, always, 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 every single time. It's always this. This is always the problem. So, what does it say next? To work on yourself and become more loving and light. This is because the law of resonance says that you can only draw things into your life that contain as much love and light as you have. Okay, so I just want to give a little bit of context here, because it bothers me when people say, oh, it's all about the amount of love and life and light that you have. Because yes, but asterisk, big asterisk. All right, because I see that you are someone that is very loving, that you are trying to live as a beacon to others, as a light to others. And I don't think you're lacking in love and light. I think it's just that you have this fear. Okay, and I just want you to let go of any self-blame in this situation, because, you know, the New Age community can be so fucking toxic sometimes, you know, where they're all like, oh, love and light, so out of balance. I call myself an integration worker because we have to work with the shadow as well. We have to integrate, we have to interlock all pieces together to be whole. You can't just be light, because that's so toxic. Yeah, and very often it might have been said to you, and I feel this is very, very relevant to you particularly. You think, oh, I need to be more loving, I need to be more light, I need to be more love and light. No, actually, you need to be more shadow. You need to look at the shadow, you need to integrate that shadow. Go to the fear, don't reject it. Don't tell it it's bad and it has to disappear, because the shadow can't go. It can't disappear. It needs to be welcomed in. It needs to be loved. It needs to be told that it is loved, that it is cared for, that it is safe. Okay? It is a very scared part of you. It is a part of you that is terrified. Okay? And if you're just going to bash it over the head by saying, why aren't you light yet? That's just not going to get anywhere. It's not going to work. Okay. So I just want to, touch on that, because there are so many toxic messages we get from like the New Age community sometimes, from certain people who think they know what they're talking about. And I would say take anything with a pinch of salt when you hear people who present themselves as gurus or like some grand spiritual teacher speaking. Take everything with a pinch of salt. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. You know, I'm not your guru. I'm just here to read some cards for you. You take from it what's right for you. You take from it what resonates for you, what makes sense for you, and you leave what doesn't. Okay? My life is my life. Your life is yours. You're responsible for your life and your life only. Okay? You get to make the choices and decisions in your life. And I think this is why it's so important for us to remember we don't need teachers and gurus. Yes, people can teach us things along the way, but we don't need like the great teacher to bow down to. We don't need the guru to bow down to, you know. Yes, people will teach and help us along the path, but don't ever bow down before them. Don't ever grovel and think you're less than them. Okay, we are very much in an era right now of the toppling of idols. A lot of idols are toppling themselves, which is quite fascinating to watch. But it is, in some ways, I would call it, the Great Awakening is also a great equalizer. It's a great equalizer right now, when we are realizing we are awakening to the fact that we are all these divine beings in human form. We are, every single one of us, without exception, is a divine being in human form. We are God in human form, experiencing himself, itself, herself. Yeah, without exception. And that's one of the most important things to learn at the moment. So take everything that's said to you with a pinch of salt. Okay, take things that spiritual teachers say to you with a pinch of salt, because sometimes they're just making it up. I'll be honest, sometimes they are literally making it up, or they go off in a little fantasy in their imagination. It sounds really great, but there may be very little substance to it. So heart healing, help your heart to heal that fear, and go in gently. There's no need to rush in for that. Go in very gently. I'm going to put that card over there. So, that one? Okay. Oh, star being starseed on a wise number 9. Hello, starseed. You may be somebody that feels you're actually a starseed. maybe something you're aware of, it may not. That's okay. I do feel there is a connection to the star nations for you one way or the other, either as a soul connection because you have lived on another planet at some point, you are originally from another planet on a soul level. It doesn't mean, you know, you weren't born here as a human, because you obviously were, or you probably wouldn't be listening to this. You know, if I have any star beings watching, hi, good to see you. Leave a comment if you're a star being, that'd be excellent. But there is this beautiful connection, and this is partly why you have this amazingly gentle, intuitive, feminine energy that you brought through from another star system. And it's almost like you're a little bit too gentle for this world. And like I was saying at the beginning, you might feel like, what on earth am I doing here? I don't feel like I'm on the right planet. Well, there may be a reason for that. There may well be a reason for that. So be very gentle with yourself, and, you know, call on your cousins, the star nations, to actually help you with your heart healing as well, to help remove that fear. Because part of the fear may be that you're literally in a strange land and you're not sure what to do, you're not sure how to change things, and you may have had some very traumatic experiences in this lifetime or in some previous lifetimes on Earth that actually have to clear here. I mentioned there could be a slave lifetime, or perhaps a very strict religious lifetime, maybe priest, priestess, nun, monk type lifetime. So there's a lot to clear, there's a lot to heal. Again, I'm feeling my heart, again, it's a little bit uncomfortable there. So ask the star nations to bring through healing for your heart. So let's take a look at these little abundance cards, which I created today. I'm just using them for the first time. These are very fun. Okay. They are white because that's the only colour I had left. It was that or kind of this weird brown buff, and I didn't think you'd be able to see the writing on them. So, gilt-edged, empty inside. Oh, that's so sad. Okay. Empty pockets. Oh, that is sad. Okay. Gilt-edged, empty inside. So it comes through on 59.14.5. Oh, the wisdom of the mind. Yeah, when we let the mind lead, it can take us in the wrong direction, can't it? Again, I think that may be where some of the fear is coming from. Maybe it's a fear that if you do have money, you won't be happy. Okay, you'll have the gilt edge around the outside, so it looks like you're sort of all golden and rich, but there's nothing inside. You're empty. Okay, so I want to say you will not be empty just because you have money, just because you have abundance. I want to get rid of any suggestion of that in your mind, in your subconscious right now. All right, you can have money and be completely fulfilled. You can have money in abundance. You are allowed to have money in abundance, and you're allowed to feel good when you have it as well. So if there's any kind of disconnect, which I feel there will be for a lot of people watching, if there's a disconnect between happiness and money in your mind, and you feel like you can only have one or the other, that's absolutely not the case. And again, I just want to mention, because I'm sensing some themes here which were from other readings, and I forget which ones, from 1 to 3. But if you feel drawn to watch another one of those, 1, 2 or 3, please do so, because they can work together for some people and actually fill in some of the blanks. That can make more sense. If you feel drawn to watch 2, watch 2. So, empty pockets. Yeah, and it's over here with a 6, which is the heart. So again, it feels like the heart is what's keeping your pockets empty. The heart is what's getting in the way. It's this fear, this fearful, poor, fearful little heart, which is so sad, which is keeping you without the levels of abundance that you would like. But you will get there. You will. They're only empty temporarily. The fact that you have pockets mean that you can fill them up. You can fill up those pockets. It doesn't have to be hard. Love, money, health and joy. Yes. Now this card is all about having the balance of all of those things. You can have that. Here is confirmation. You can have love and money and health and joy and spirituality. All of it. You don't have to go without. And this is wonderful because we've got the joyous, fun card here. And I know you are all about the joy. That's who you are. You're a beautiful, joyful, happy, loving soul. So for you to live without joy, wow, would be devastating, I think, for you. But I want to say you can have the money and still live in joy. Okay, and with health and with love. It's not a trick. There's no trick. It's not a case of if I let the money in, something terrible is going to happen. No, it's not a trick. All right, there is nothing to fear. There is nothing to be afraid of. You won't have to give something up just because you're getting something. I feel that's part of the fear. It's almost like if I let the money in, I have to give something else up. I have to let something else go. You don't. The only thing that you have to let go is fear. False evidence appearing real. That's all you have to lose. You have nothing else to lose. And it comes in on a very wise 62-8. Okay, so it's the high priestess element of you, which is this beautiful card here, this beautiful moon priestess, goddess type energy here. Let her lead the heart. She has all of this infinite wisdom. She knows that she can have all of this. Heart doesn't quite believe it yet, but it will. It absolutely will. And I feel you will be able to work through some of this with your spiritual practice. There may be a need to actually do some counselling for some people. You may want to, talk to a counsellor, maybe one with a bit of a spiritual edge. That can be really helpful if you have somebody that really gets who you are as a person, particularly if you're quite spiritual or if you have very specific beliefs. That can be very validating to work with someone who either shares them or who is very sympathetic towards them as well. So I want to say, don't find someone to beat you up about this. That's not going to do it. All right, that's absolutely not going to do it at all. Do not beat yourself up. That is not allowed. Normally, I don't tell people what to do or how to live their lives, but you are not allowed to beat yourself up, okay? That's my final word on it. I'm just going to pull one more card here just to finish up. Mastering Money Mindfulness. Wow, and it comes through on 60. Whew. Yeah, that will be a whole new level for the heart, a whole new journey for your heart to go on, mastering money mindfulness. Okay, this could be something that you actually teach to other starseeds, to other empaths in the future, of how to master the mindset, how to become that money magnet, to be that master of money and abundance, letting go of fear, still having the joy, still having the spirituality, being that complete being. It feels like in the future that could be something you actually teach to others, but from a really higher level, in a very, very wonderful way. For some of you, that could literally be something that you teach, that you create a course, you write a book on in the future, because you have that potential. It is absolutely there within you, which is really very, very excited. I'm excited for you. So I think this is going to go further than you ever thought it could. Even, if you came here just thinking, oh, I wonder how I can make a few extra quid, a few extra, dollars or whatever. I think your journey to healing, because of who you are and the incredible potential that you carry, I think you could take it much further than you ever thought. And that's not to say that you have to. You don't have to. Okay, that's not to give you homework, to put pressure on you at all. But you are a really rather a wonderful soul, Pile 4, and I'm very, very honoured to have tapped into your energy today. Very, very honoured. So thank you so much for trusting me with that. You take very, very good care of yourself. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, leave a like on this video. Leave me a comment. I do read all the comments. Please do. I love to hear if you have something to share with us, or come back and let me know how you're getting on in the future. And I will see you very, very soon. You take very good care of that heart of yours.